Okay. Thank you guys so much for coming on. I am really excited about Genevieve Zooming with us. She's been somebody I've wanted to Zoom with for a long time. And the reason, we're in these go bonus season. Some of you guys may be pushing for it. Others of you may have put it on the sidelines. And I would encourage you to pick it back up and go after it because it's never too late and you never know what corporate will pull out. They may say, hey, you know what? You guys seemed really close, but we're just going to extend this another month. So you just keep running. Run as hard as you can, especially in this season of where there's so much generosity. And, even at conference, they had mentioned talk about like island trips to like retreating. There's like a lot of stuff out there that I think they're going to be pulling out that's really going to surprise us. And so I don't want you guys to miss out on that just because you may feel like you may not be close enough to a go bonus. You never know what could happen next. So we've got Genevieve here. She's an Ambassador Diamond. She's an amazing woman. I've had the privilege of getting to know her the last couple of years, and I just really love her. And so Genevieve, I'd love for you to share your story, how fast you got to Ambassador, what that looked like, throw in some tips along the way. And just go for it. We're so excited to learn, you guys. Make sure you have your notes on. I've got her where she can see all of you. So if you're appropriate, you can be live on your video. We would love to see your faces tonight.
Yay.
All right.
No, I love getting, I love seeing the faces, like, you speak. And so, my name is Genevieve Sykes. I started October of 2014. I had actually when I say dabbled in home-based business before, like truly just like dabbled. I don't know that I knew what I was doing then. I basically signed up and was in and out in like 3 months and left that experience thinking like once and done and never again. Only crazy people do this. Nobody actually makes money from this. I didn't understand why you would buy something from someone unless you like really like them or you really like the product if it was available in the store. Like if I'm already at Whole Foods or Target and I'm already like I'm there already and there's that type of product which is probably cheaper, why can't I just get it off the shelf? Like this is not practical type of thing, So when my friend told me about this actually in September of 2014, she was at my baby shower. I have always been a really, really hard worker. I worked in an office job Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and it was a job that I was really thankful to have. It came in a time in my life when I was actually a single mom. But at this time when my friend told me about the wrap, I had married my husband and then he had a son. I had a son, and then we were pregnant with our third son. We actually have 4 boys now. When she told me about this wrap in my baby shower that helps tighten, tone, and firm the skin, I was like, get out of here. That does not work. She's like, yeah, I don't think it's going to work either. But my friend who told me about it, said that it really works. And I told her that if it really worked, I would sell it. And just knowing my friend, like, this is not, like, my friend does CrossFit competitions, you know what I mean? So it was just kind of weird that she was telling me about this. So I was like, yeah, just let me know what happens. I might be interested after I have this baby or whatever. At that time, I was like secretly, but not so secretly crying at my desk every day, agonizing about the day I would have to come back from maternity leave. Because I knew, like, from just previous experience from having my oldest son that it's so much harder, like once they're here and once you have that bonding time and come back. And this is not to knock other working moms or dads. Like, I truly believe it's the quality of time you spend with your child and not the quantity. But my job was already stressful and I really did not love it. And I wasn't definitely being compensated my worth at all. I also had a part-time job working as a fitness instructor, and that I really did love, but I was already working a lot of hours. So, like, I was literally teaching sessions before and after my office job. We were a one-car family. We lived a mile from the office, so I had to walk to work pregnant, even up until the very end. And so when a few weeks later, my friend had the most incredible results, I was like, okay, so clearly you're selling it because you're posting about it. she's like, listen, not for nothing. I've only been in 3 weeks and I'm going after this rank called Ruby. What she didn't tell me then was that I was actually, besides her husband, like the first distributor she signed. So the first tip in there is, you know, people don't need to know what you've done as much as what you're going to do or what you're going after. So that's my first tip there. She wasn't Ruby. She was just going after it. And so I was her first like real distributor. And so I said, okay, I bought a wrap, even though she went from like having like a 2-pack to a 6-pack, and clearly it worked. I just wanted to see it with my own eyes. So I made Sean wear it. We didn't have fab wrap. We didn't have saran wrap. He wore one of my stretchy camisoles to keep it on. It was like quite a sight, but he had results, and I was like, this is amazing. And, you know, I even tell my team this, like, don't forget what you have your hands on, guys. We have something that you put on your body, and in 45 minutes, it makes you skinnier. Like, you know what I mean? I think we get so used to it. Like, listen to what I just said, right? It sounds like magic. And we sell it for $25 a piece if you didn't want to become a customer. I was like, oh my gosh, that is brilliant. You can't find that anywhere else, and it works. Sign me up. Let's do this. I hope I can make $500 a month. And that was really my goal. I thought that if I could make $500 a month, and like nothing broke, the car didn't break, no one got sick, we didn't ever go anywhere, we never ate out, I can be at home with the baby for like a year just by picking up extra fitness sessions to teach. And that was as big as we were dreaming. So I had to get to Ruby, and this is another tip in here. When I started to work my business, I needed to get to Ruby like yesterday. I didn't intend to go ambassador in a year. But in having to go Ruby yesterday, I created such momentum that I did eventually land at ambassador in a year. And I look back at it, and it was everything that I was trying to do. Because like when they say like you don't want it bad enough until like you want it as much as you want to breathe, that's how bad I wanted Ruby. Because Ruby meant that I could be at home with my baby. It wasn't to say that I was Ruby. So, you know, this is even something that I do with my new distributors, or when I'm talking to somebody on my team. Do you ever have to like talk somebody off the ledge on your team? Like they're like, I don't know if this is for me, or, you know, it's not about a rank. Like Ambassador Diamond sounds cool and all, but at like late night, or like when I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing this for, it's not the title that's going to keep you here. Just like saying you're diamond or ruby, it wasn't going to be Ruby. It's what that means for your life, or what that means for people on your team. So I remember I had one day after I signed up where I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? I am terrified. I don't think anybody's going to want to buy this thing from me. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a salesperson. People are going to make fun of me. I don't want to be that girl on Facebook. You guys know what I'm talking about, pushing her home-based business. And I had about a day where I had that fear. And then I remembered my why I even got into this. And I remembered that none of those people were going to be paying my bills. And until I could pay my bills with their thoughts, I wasn't going to care about what they thought. What I was doing wasn't immoral or illegal. And, you know, that's it. So I literally had no time to think about any of that. So when people like ask me like, what do you do when people make fun of you? Or what do you do when people tell you no? I'm like, I don't know. I just don't think about it. To be honest, I just didn't have time to think about it. So I got to Ruby in about 45 days, and that was working a full-time job, a part-time job, 2 kids. I haven't mentioned yet, our oldest son has autism, and sometimes that's kind of like a job in and of itself. And had a C-section, sitting in the hospital, and I just remember looking at our newborn and thinking like, gosh, like I want so much more from this. And looking around at my team and saying like, gosh, like there are really like awesome people, but very normal people doing this, and just continue doing steps to success again. Guys, I know Rachel tells you this because we've been talking about this on the Ambassador Club. Like it really is in steps to success. It like, I was even talking to a newer distributor on my team. I'm looking for my steps to success. Like I keep this by my desk. I have like animal style. My goal is to do it like twice a month, but this is it. Like it's literally called animal style. It's basically steps to success like 3 times. But if I had 5 minutes, like, and this is what I tell with new distributors, like this is it. And everybody works their business a little different. Everyone's magic is different. I'm kind of like a jack of all trades. Although I started majorly on social media, I do kind of a bit of everything now. But this is it, guys. this is your goal every month, and to teach your team how to do it. And so getting from ruby to diamond was literally just steps to success as many times as I could, and teaching people how to do that. So I promoted to diamond, in 3 months, quit my full-time job. My first day back to maternity leave, didn't know how to write a resignation letter, had to Google that. They didn't know why I was so happy my first day back. They had even given my office to someone else. I didn't even care. I was like, like, no big deal. The next month, promoted to double diamond. 2 months after that, triple diamond. 2 months after that, presidential diamond. After going prez, that was June of 2015, I found out I was number 64 for Dash that year. That was like a big surprise, getting that message from Pam. And then the next month actually made Dash. I was at my first Dash 10 months into the business. I hadn't even been a distributor the year before. And I remember like meeting these awesome ambassadors, and they were like trying to introduce themselves to me. And I'm like, I know who you are. Like, I didn't say that, but they were like, you know, like, they're like, hi, I'm Rachel Williams. And I'm like, I know. But I didn't say that. I was like trying to play it cool.
That was like my first Dash too. Your first Dash and my first Dash were the same.
That's crazy.
And they used to do like top 200, and all of a sudden it was like 75.
Yeah. So you can imagine you can imagine like me being there. I was like, oh my gosh, like literally guys, anybody can be there. And just because you've been there the year before, it doesn't mean you're there the next year. It changes. But I remember even Ashley Sinclair being like, oh, hi, I'm Ashley. What's your name? And I'm like, you know, like all those people. And then one ambassador in October, and, Sean came home because we didn't think he was ever going to quit his job, but his business was changing. The type of business he was in, his company was bought out, and Nicholas was like getting into everything. So we thought it'd be great to bring him home, and then we found out we were expecting. Funny how that happens. And then, so now I'm really thankful he's home, because we have a 7-month-old and a 2-year-old, and then an 8-year-old and a 9-year-old. And honestly, like, that's not the part that blows my mind. Like what I was saying before this Zoom started, that, I have 2 women on our team, among others, that are promoting, that are going double diamond. I'm like, that's crazy. Cause like diamond completely blew my mind and changed my life. And I swear I am so much more excited about them going double diamond than I ever was. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's like the real like cherry on it, on top of the whole thing. You're like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe like it worked. Hashtag it worked. So that's my story.
Definitely the game changer. It's like, whoa, hey money, like I've been working for you for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. So next month will be 2.5 years that I've been in this business. Crazy.
It goes by fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, it goes by really fast.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so was there anything else you wanted to share about your story?
I try to like put tips in there. So we have 4 boys. My oldest son's on the spectrum. We live in South Florida. I built primarily through social media to like triple-ish diamond, but I also did a lot of virtual parties along the way. And I really didn't realize that I was doing parties like by meeting up with people at Starbucks, but I didn't realize they were parties. Cause like I remember specifically telling my friend, I need money, but I'm not going to do parties. Like, do not have me do a party. I'm just not. And I think because my conception of parties was that you have to like hide your kids and have like a ton of inventory and have hors d'oeuvres and get dressed up and be there 2 hours early. And I realized now that because that's not us at all, like my parties, I mean, listen guys, I am not a Pinterest mom. Okay. I am not like, let's bake cupcakes for your class mom. I'm a, let's go to Whole Foods and buy them and they'll look great type of mom, maybe even Target. So for me, like a party, like I'm sorry. I don't do like the whole spread and everything, but I think that's great because people can relate to that, or they can say like, oh gosh, we can do such a better job than she can. We're in and out in an hour. I throw like 7 products in my bag and it's simple, in and out. So I like our version of party a lot more. And when I do in my house, we have like wine and water and that's it.
Simple
and
fun. So when you say you built through primarily social media, what outlet did you use?
I used Facebook and Instagram, both.
Okay. You did both. Where was a bigger hitter for you?
I would say it was almost 50-50, to be
Really?
perfectly honest.
Okay.
And a lot of them started to cross over because if you know what? Maybe we'll lean a little more towards Facebook only because if I found somebody on Instagram, I tried to connect them on Facebook.
So you pull them over to build more relationship with
Yes.
them?
Yes. I think as people
Cool.
trust Facebook more.
So you find people on Instagram and then you pull them over.
Yes. Yes. And I find people on Facebook too. And I try to pull them over on Instagram.
Cool. Okay. That's good to know. All right, let's get through some of these questions. If we go through this in 45 minutes, I'd love that because you've had a big night and I know everyone's working hard right now. It's almost quiet on our team pages, but people are enrolling and
Yeah.
they're plugging in customers, distributors. I see it. So it's really exciting, but I know that everybody's working right now and we're feeling it.
Yeah.
Candace Terrasas was just telling me she's enrolled 7 distributors so far this month and she was still going. And I'm like, go girl, go. So,
that's crazy.
I know. All right. So what has been your biggest personal hurdle you've had to overcome?
Was
it worth it? I should throw that in there too, because they asked that. Was it worth it?
You know what's funny? I feel like if you would have asked me this a year ago, it would have changed this year. And I hope this doesn't scare new people. I think for me, the biggest hurdle now as a leader has been kind of like the grieving process when people don't stay. And that has been very, very hard for me. People ask me what color I am. My first year in this business, I actually didn't know what color I was, and everybody guessed a different color for me depending on what setting you saw me on. If you saw me on a dance floor, you'd be like, she is so blue. But I'm very afraid of crowds and people sometimes. Like, I'm actually nervous to be on here. I'm actually a rainbow. With that, I have a big yellow part to me. And I just want us to be friends forever and run after this forever. Whether you were a mass enroller or producing a lot. And I think that that's been actually the hardest thing for me is when people don't have the same vision. And it's not even because of me or what it does for my business as much as how much I know that they need it. And that has been the hardest thing for me in 2.5 years. Even looking at my team, I have a good core group still, but some of them aren't the same. And I missed some of those people that I spent a lot of time with. And it's not that we're not friends. It's just not the same because we don't have those same goals. But something that Melissa Smith, another ambassador, she did a live once that really helped me with. And she gave this analogy of, she worked for Hollister back in the day. And it was like this great teeny bopper clothing. And there was always turnover. It's kind of like in life. Like you go through different seasons where you have different friends and it's not that you don't like each other anymore. It's just life took you different places. And so I would say that that's the hardest thing for me. And what I've had to learn from Pam and from Melissa saying, Hollister still offers something great. Don't take it personally. Hollister knows what they have to offer. They still offer great clothing. It's the same thing. Just because somebody you thought was your best friend left and doesn't have that same vision, it doesn't mean that the vision is not important. It doesn't mean that that's still not your mission. And it doesn't mean that the products don't work. So I'm still going through that. It's been like I've been breaking up with people this last year. And so that's really been the hardest thing for me to overcome and still carry on because you feel like you leave pieces of your heart along the way,
Yeah, it is hard. It's definitely a process, but you have to know where you're called and root yourself down and go for it. I like to look at it the same way. If I were an owner of a restaurant, I'd probably have so many servers come in and out of my restaurant. That doesn't change my business and it doesn't change what I'm going after. It just may change who I work with. And so like, if I keep that mentality, I may have some superstars that are there for a few years and then they go and they leave and I'm like, you know what, they served this place well and I wish them the best and now I'm ready for the next one, and so anyways, I think too, you just have to know where you're rooted, where you're called and be there. Root yourself deep and, have that mentality like I am a business owner, this is my business and I own it, so anyways, okay, how do you balance enrolling loyal customers and enrolling distributors on a monthly basis? How much do you focus on each daily?
I don't I know you gave me these questions before. I still don't have an answer for that. So I do have quite a bit of green, not in this area. I think my goal every day now is just to reach out to 10 people a day. And honestly, some days that changes. Some days it's about the business mostly. So it might be like 8 of those are for the business. And 2 of them are for the product. Some days it's like 2 of them are for the product. I think something else that could kind of steer that is depending on what I'm trying to achieve that day. Am I trying to pick up some fast start bonuses that I have a whole bunch, or am I trying to fill volume right now for my 2.0 to promote? So I think it just kind of changes each day, but that is my personal goal every day, is to reach out to 10 people. Here's another thing too. If somebody's not ready to jump on board with the business, I always suggest that they become a customer first so they can fall in love with the product. Because hands down, I would all day, every day, I would much rather have a customer fall in love with the product than have what I like to call a kidnapper. Like they buy the kit and then they're gone. I got that from Lori Conway.
Yes, I call them kit robbers. I get those every month sometimes.
Yeah.
What's up with you?
Yeah, exactly. So it changes. I don't know that I have a balance. It's just kind of, it just changes every day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I let a lot of my posts like lead me to loyal customers, and then distributors I really have to go after in private messages. So I bet you do that too. Okay. How do you start a new team member? What is the process you have them follow after they've joined your team? And then, we'll start there. I like that. How do you train a new distributor?
So what I try to do personally with them is the first goal is the first 4 loyal customers. I mean, granted, along the way and even talking to them, my personal customers, I already know what their why is, because even in the signing up process, and even talking to them about this business, I'm asking them, well, what is it? It's kind of like a reverse interview. Like they think they're asking me questions, which they do. But then I say to them, well, let me see if this will work for you. What is it that you would want from something like this? Just to really hear their why, because the truth is like any why, if it's this business, whatever it is. So when they get started, I say, okay, right now your first goal is to get your first 4 customers. And guys, just going back to that, like that steps to success thing, to be perfectly honest. So I give them some ideas about how to get that going. Like, you want to, who are the first 10 people you would call if you got the best news in the world, and ask them for a favor, like, hey, I need a favor. And they'd be like, sure. And you say, listen, I started this business. I'm really excited about it. I'm going after, because right now you need 4 customers to get these bonuses. I'm going after this huge bonus. This business is going to help my family do X, Y, Z. Would you be willing to try a product for me? I just need you to try 1 product a month for 3 months and you would get my discount. Guys, we have products that are like $25, $30, $35, and really just give them that to start out with. That being their first goal. In that process, we get their launch party as much as possible. I encourage them to get their launch party scheduled. So because I do a lot of social media, obviously everybody's spread out everywhere. So for some people, if they're local, we do that locally. But if they're somewhere else, I'll try to get like groups of my new distributors to launch virtually. And then we all invite people and I kind of direct that party. So that's where I start it first. Just give them like bite sizes, because hopefully the goal is if they sign the 4, they ask me what's next, and then that's when we start reaching out to people about the business.
I love that. Okay. How do you get your team motivated to work and believe in the potential of it works?
Oh man. So, this is a question that that I had when I was new. How do you motivate your team? You can't. You cannot motivate your team. And maybe that's another hard lesson I've learned, is that you can't want this for people more than you want it, more than they want it for themselves. But what I have found the most motivating, what motivates my team more than anything, is doing it anyways. Does that make sense? When I'm still enrolling customers and distributors, or when I'm, shouting out people in the team and highlighting what they are doing, action. You know what I mean? Like, if you think about it, we get paid to do two things in this business. So I've noticed that has been much more encouraging to say, like, rather than texting them like, hey, have you scheduled your launch party yet? Hey, have you? And this is the very red part of me. If you're one of my new distributors, I will always love and care about you as a person, but I reach out to you 2 or 3 times in the beginning. And if I'm not getting much back, like, that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? There's so many other people that want this. It's not fair to them for me to be doing that. So, motivation, if you have to keep motivating someone over and over again, they're not going to do much. That's just the truth of the matter. Motivation is fleeting. So, really just having their why in plain sight. If I have to talk someone off a ledge, okay, well, why are you doing this? And showing them, like saying, hey, let's do this together. Still enrolling. I've seen more people come back from our team still doing it without them versus us chasing after them and trying to give a pep talk every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. I just posted something I'm sure some of them laughed at tonight, but I was like, I get tired when somebody's like, oh, I talked to 20 people and nobody wants to do this business. And I'm like, what? Like, what world did you come from? What planet did you come from? Like, what are you thinking? You're going to talk to 20 people and quit? Like, okay. What do you think? How do you think people make $500 a month, $1,000 a month? They're going to be talking to a lot more than 20 people. Okay.
Oh my gosh. I want to see this post. I'm seeing this chat. So you guys, I didn't mention this in my story. So after I signed my 4 customers, I remember standing in our bedroom and I said to Sean, okay, I have 4 customers. The next step on this sheet said that I have to build a team. So I got to get some distributors. And nobody told me this. Guys, my enroller, who, by the way, my enroller quit. My enroller has not been here. Like, my enroller quit. I got to double diamond like or triple diamond before she did. I think I'm her strong leg, pretty sure. And she's still one of my closest friends, but she has not built this business since June or July of 2015. In fact, I met her at the park the other day. She's like, oh yeah, I have a bunch of gear you can have. Anyways, but nobody told me. I was just like, okay, steps of success. I need a team now. So I was like, all right, Sean, I'm like, no one's just going to drop out of the sky to do this with me. I'm going to have to ask them. And so my goal in November 2014 was to reach out to 3 to 5 people a day. Because somewhere in my head, again, no one told me this. This was my own world. I thought for every 10 people I asked, 1 person would say yes. So I said, okay, so if I asked 3 to 5 people a day, by the end of November, I would have asked 90 to 150 people, and I'll have 9 to 15 distributors on my team. I will for sure be Ruby. Like, I gotta be, right? And so I asked 100 people, close to 100 people that month. I signed 5. I got to Ruby. 1 was my mom. You can't even count that, guys, okay? You cannot count that. But I got to Ruby, like, by the skin of my teeth. And that was November of 2014. The next month, in December, I signed 7 distributors, okay? And promoted to Emerald. But then in January of and this is still my highest month for signing distributors without a BOGO or anything, okay? So sometimes you think, oh, those ambassadors, they have it so easy signing people. No, not true, okay? January of 2015, I signed 17 distributors. That's without a BOGO, without nothing. May, I did 19, but we had a DT BOGO. You can't count that. But 17 distributors. And I'm telling you, I would not have signed 17 distributors if I didn't start messaging all those people back in November when everybody was ignoring me or telling me no because they continued to watch. I was just planting a seed. So I'm just going to tell you, collect all the no's, because somewhere in my warped mind back then, and I honestly, sometimes I wish I could get back to that thinking. I think I've like experienced too much. You know what I mean? Like, I've gotten too much in my own head. That I figured, okay, to Ruby, I'm probably going to get like 90 no's. So if I get 10 today, I'm another 10 closer. Mm-hmm. And it was true, guys. It was so true. And it started such incredible momentum. And that's what caused me being able to go ambassador, because all those people that I asked in the beginning and planted those seeds, they kept watching, but I didn't care about the no's. You know, I didn't care about my coworkers who were laughing behind my back. Like, who do you think's laughing now? Who do you think was laughing in 3 months?
You get more no's than you do yeses, and that's just part of it. So when people tell me that, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you're not going to make it. That's like what I think. Like, what they're like, I talked to 20 people and none of them want to do this. And I'm like, okay. Like, I don't even know what to say to you, because you're going to have to talk to a lot more people, and you have to be okay with no, you know, like, I got unfriended by people we were in ministry with that we did life with forever, you know, and they're still not my friend. They're friends with Jeremy and not me, you know? And I'm like, that's so mean. Like, I'm a nice person. Why would you do that? But that's just life, you know? And so, but also they don't live my life. They don't pay my bills, and I can't, I got to weigh it out, you know, like, which one's better? I would take this business over their friends on Facebook, you know.
And they're not friends for real, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, if they can't support you, why just move forward. Just move forward. So, okay, tips on how to start. So you may not do this. I don't, although I think it's a great idea. Tips on how to start a personal weight loss group for your current loyal customers to help push them, keep them on track with their goals. Do you do this?
No.
Okay. What's your favorite self-development book?
So one right now that I really wish I had read sooner, like truly wish. I'm like, why didn't I read this in the beginning? Besides the Bible, I do listen to my audio Bible every day, is Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich. That one's
by Napoleon Hill. It is rocking my world right now. Why I didn't listen to this sooner, but other ones that I really loved were The Compound Effect. That was a really, really good one. But Think and Grow Rich, I do audiobooks, and I like to listen to them while I'm at the gym. I feel like I get my best ideas in the gym or in the shower. That's just the way my life goes. So it's this one, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Okay.
But it was written, it's interesting because it was actually written, it was written over the span of 20 years, and it studies very successful people like Henry Ford, John D. Rockefeller, the Wright brothers, basically all those super crazy successful people, and what they had in common. It was written over the course of 20 years, but then it actually came out after the Great Depression during a time where people were rebuilding like their businesses and everything like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm glad I'm actually listening to it now, but it's just really fascinating.
Building their businesses after the Depression.
Yes.
That sounds like a perfect book.
No, listen, I'm telling you, it's one of those books, like, you cannot listen to too much of it because your mind is just like blown. It's like, there's so much that you have to apply. And oh my gosh, it has been like, it examines like their mindset, because some of these people are like so uneducated, and it had
or they even came through like a huge defeat too. I mean,
yes,
the Great Depression is labeled that for a reason.
Yes. I mean, it's just like sheer will and burning desire. And these people were rejected and turned down. So anyways,
you guys, we need to get that book.
This book is rocking my world right now, but I also liked The Compound Effect. I actually have, and then The Magic of Thinking Big I've read a few times. Another one for leadership I'm actually currently also listening to is The 21 Indispensable Qualities of a Leader. So typically when I'm at the gym, like, I'll listen to like a few chapters of the Bible, and then I'll do the leadership and then go back to Think and Grow Rich. But Think and Grow Rich, whoo, like,
so good.
Yeah. Especially right now. And you know what I mean, especially right now.
Okay, here's another good one. Should I build deep or wide?
Oh, all right. So I don't know how you guys build, but I got to ambassador in a year. So if that doesn't tell you anything, I mean, I'm building a little differently in my 2.0. Just get there. Just get there. I don't know how do you guys build? I'm afraid to like.
Well, I mean, I typically say chart. I mean, if you're new in this business, you need to use your chart. Like, you need to fill the boxes. But, there's other times where you do, like, if, say, somebody's not working, then I don't, like, if you sign someone and they literally don't sign any customers, like, yeah, fill the box, but then maybe that person's not working. So if you sign up another distributor, maybe you need to put them right underneath them. and then
Okay.
hopefully they'll sign loyals or whatever. So I guess stacking a little bit, but you don't even have to do that. You know, if they don't even do anything, like I'm just saying if they have a few customers, but if they don't have any customers, then I would say just, you know, sign wide.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like a juggle. I just feel like you have to do something that works for you in your head. And it takes a lot of just watching charting videos. Charting is charting. So you need to know how to chart.
Yeah.
After that, it's almost like it takes a lot of wisdom. It depends on who you're signing and are they a best friend? Do you feel like they're a huge go-getter? Maybe that's somebody you need to put on your team. Does that make sense? So
yes, it does. And here's something else about that too. You're going to make mistakes. Like, as people say, is there anything that you listen to in a conversation with somebody that you like know where to put them? No, absolutely not. The only exception to that was this one girl for her team that at this party I went to tonight, the girl that rejected me for like 7 months. Okay. She's the only one I think that I knew for hands down would be amazing. And I was right, because her team's on fire, but I mean, that took like 10 years of knowing her. You know what I mean? So just to give you another example, I have a girl on my team who went diamond in 1 month, triple in 3 months, and presidential in 6 months.
Whoa.
She went to high school with Sean 15 years ago. Tag your spouse or significant other or mom with their permission and everything. So I was tagging Sean and everything on Facebook. We were not friends. She did not like a single post ever. 6 months later, I get a message from this chick. Hey, I think I want to do this. I'm going to buy a box of wraps from you. Cool. I think she tries the wrap. She has amazing results. And then she messaged me. She's like, I'm going to do this. She's like, but I don't know how much time I'm going to have to devote to this. I'm a teacher. I'm on spring break right now. I'm really busy. I work like an extra job. I have 2 babies. I'm not going to have a lot of time to do this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, why are you even signing? So of course I put her like way down somewhere that I just needed to fill a box.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, even though we're not supposed
You're going for a promotion, so you're filling a box.
I was going for triple. I was double when I signed. Actually, I had my triple diamond box. I had my triple diamond chart full. I was double, but I hadn't promoted yet. And so I was building my presidential, and I put her way down. Now, in hindsight, if I would have known that, totally would have placed her my top line, and I probably would have gone ambassador 2 months earlier. But you don't know that. So something that I heard from one of my upline ambassadors, Amanda Pruitt, I actually have a few. Like, we all went ambassador within the same year of each other. So like Kim Touchton signed Amanda Pruitt, and then she went ambassador in 14 months. And then she signed this girl who signed Michelle Payne. But in there, Amanda went ambassador March 2015, then Michelle June, Laurie Bowes August, and then me October, all the same year.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy. So something that I saw Amanda do in a video, this is one of my 2.0 charts. I don't want you guys to see names. But something that she taught me, whatever you're charting for that particular month, like you
don't
can't
worry if that makes you feel better. We can't see.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So you guys don't know these people anyways, so never mind. But, you know, whatever chart you're going after, she said basically like, and make sure you hit ruby and then emerald along the way. She said, but look at that chart as your responsibility. So I can't be looking at this ruby and be like, oh, well, they're not signing people. Like, you know, they're not building fast enough or whatever. So basically, like, if there's 24 boxes on this diamond chart, that's Genevieve's responsibility. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I filled my emerald chart, which is 14 boxes, and now I'm going for diamond and there's 10, how many people do I need to talk to for 10? Going back to my old, you know, statistic, I don't know where I got this from. I need to talk to 100 people. So if I'm trying to pull that off by the end of this month, what's 100 people divided by 30 days? Or if I need to get them all partied up and launched before that, and I need to fill this in half a month. So what's 100 people divided by 15 days? That's how many people I need to be reaching out to every day. You know, so I would, you know, break it up in those chunks so that it was doable. So it might be like 10 people every day that I have to reach out to.
Yeah. So you look at the chart like it's solely your chart to fill. And
yes.
You carry the weight, you'll get it done. Like, it doesn't matter who's on your team. And that's why I feel like that's what we were talking about, like being business owners of a restaurant. You know, if you're a business owner of a restaurant, that's your responsibility. Waiters are going to come in and out. And if you look at your downline like that, in some ways, like if you've got a diamond chart or ruby chart and you're like, okay, if these were my servers, they're going to come in and out. But it's my responsibility to fill this up and then fill the volume up, then I'll be there. You know, they're going to be, of course, working their businesses too, those that want it.
Of course. And you're going to promote ahead. I mean, that's how I promoted fast, because
that's really helpful, Genevieve. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what I told people that are going for diamond. I said, okay, how many, I don't like to say boxes, but how many lives do you need to change by the end of this month to promote? So if you need to change 10 lives, you need to talk to 100 people. Right. So you want those people on your team by the middle of the month. So you have 2 weeks to launch them, them get their customers. So 100 people divided by 15 is actually like 6, 7 a day. Wait, 7, 8, I don't know. No, 7 times. So you need to reach to 7 people a day, and breaking it up in those types of chunks, it becomes much more manageable instead of just thinking, oh my gosh, I need to reach out to 100 people,
I love that. That's good. Okay. Any tips for how to have successful Facebook and sample parties? So let's Facebook parties and then home parties. What are your best tips?
So I've been doing a virtual party every week with my team since I was a Ruby. And that's just what we do. I get other people involved. So that's the first thing. The first thing is getting other people on the team. Do
you go Facebook Live or do you post?
It's both. It's a combination of both. So I try to at least half the posts for them to be live, because not everyone's comfortable doing live, but I'm typically not the only one doing the party. So for our team, I'll typically do the welcome and the business and maybe a couple products. But now my team is growing and I want layered leadership. So I'm letting them organize it, and then I just volunteer like everyone else. But everyone's posting. So we have a rundown, and every 4 minutes, somebody's posting something. Something we've been doing recently that I like a lot better is, rather than having, when I say recently, like the last 6 months, rather than having a laundry list of products, okay, hair, skin, and nails, fat fighter, blah, 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 we go more towards goals and packs, because a lot of our products work together synergistically. Hello, that's also more BV. So we're talking about, metabolic burn, and then that person has that post and they kind of unpack some of those products. And then the next post, focusing more on goals and not having the same rundown every month. But still kind of closing the same way at the end with what you do with the party pad. You can either become a customer or you can join the party, and still closing with that. My tips for virtual parties are, besides getting other people involved, get other people presenting, focusing more on packs, not just individual products, because that, if people see a metabolic burn or target trio or it works system, that's going to be more BV. They're going to be trying more products. They're going to be getting a better price. Okay.
I love that name, metabolic burn.
It sounds cool, right? It sounds awesome. Yeah.
Sounds exciting.
It is exciting. So doing that, but also I tell my team, don't invite everyone and their mom. Okay. Because if you look in your own Facebook right now, you go to events, you've probably been invited to a gabillion things. So we only invite people, we thoughtfully invite people, okay? And you always want to invite your current loyal customers, because this party is actually just as much for them as it is getting new business, because they might have signed for defining gel, but then they'll see hair, skin, nails or another product. So we do that as well. And then I encourage my team to send messages. Again, because there's so many events, I say send messages to your potentials. Just saying, hey, my team is doing a virtual party. I know it sounds so lame. That's what I thought. I thought a virtual party, it's the lamest thing ever. I even say that still, LOL. But, there's going to be some raffles and giveaways. And I know you're interested in some products. You can attend at your own leisure. Can't wait to see you there. And taking that extra step to send that message makes a huge difference, especially if you've been talking to somebody online about a product. It kind of pushes them over the edge, because you might have been talking to them about one product, but now they're seeing all the other products that you offer as well. So now it's not doing the customer program for 3 months is much more manageable, because there's other things they want to try. So that's a big tip for virtual parties. Going live on it sometimes too. Don't just do posts. Live parties, it's the same thing. I go through the party pad at live parties. So I start with that. And then after it gets to the part about the wrap, I go through the catalog and talk about some of my favorite products. But again, I'm focusing more on goals. So products together in packs. So I'm pretty much setting them up from the beginning to become a customer or a distributor. So I even mentioned at the beginning, like, oh my gosh, like we have the most amazing prices for our loyal customers. And then you can get these packs that takes the discount from 40% to like 55% off. And here's an example of that. So talk about Target Trio together. So like I'm already subliminally like plugging that in from the beginning and focusing on goals. And then at the end, stick with the party pad. Give them that choice right there. You can either become a customer and get amazing, results and 40% off, or you can get the same discount, have amazing results, and make money. And just give them that choice there. Those are the only two choices. And closing is like the hardest thing. I know for some people, because then you're like, all right, thanks for coming. But then just go right into it. Any questions, walk around with the forms. Sometimes actually at parties, depending on the group, they already have the forms in front of them. So they're going to fill out one or the other and just start taking orders. Like, hey, what did you want to do today? And just ask, what did you want to do today? And if it's a financial issue with them and they're like, hey, I don't get paid till this day. Okay, well, can I touch back with you on that day? And they're going to say, yes, that's fine. They're not going to tell you no. You're right there, like in front of their face. So I would say those are my biggest tips. Does that help?
Yeah, I think asking is so important. I've learned that over time. Like if you don't ask, then you won't get, so like you have to ask. So whether it's asking to join your business, like join your team, or it's asking to try out the products, asking in person, out of person, on social media, it's all about the ask, and if you don't, you won't.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to ask.
I love that. Okay. How do you seal the deal when you are messaging people maybe who are newer to your network?
About business or products or both?
Business.
Gosh.
Our ratio to loyal customers to distributors would blow your mind away. Like we've got in my downline, my loyal customer is like this much to my distributor ratio is like this much. So I think we kill it when it comes to signing customers, but I think that we definitely need to up our game with signing distributors. So give it to us.
Okay, so what's funny is that I always, in the beginning, I've always signed more distributors than customers. That's just I think I've signed more distributors than customers. Let me see, sealing a deal.
Teach us how to go after that. Mindset, changing mindset, like talking to people. What does it look like to get someone on, to sign up as a distributor?
So, I think it just goes back to what are you posting about? This is going when I do coaching calls for my team, I hear from people sometimes, this is the famous phrase, I can sign customers, but I suck at getting distributors. And 9 times out of 10, if they're building with social media, I find that they are not dripping. We call them drips on our team. They are not featuring the business like they do the product. They do a great job of doing their, 2 posts a day of either before and after the product, but they don't talk about the business. So we call that a drip. So a drip about this business is just as vital, because that is a product. That's actually your best product. Your best product in this business is the business, and it's the one product that you are going to feature every single day. Some days you might do wraps or hair, skin, and nails, defining gel other days. So we call them drips, and my goal, my personal goal, and the goal that I set out for team is to do 2 of those a day. I don't know what you guys call them, but it's basically sharing about this business and how it's benefiting you in a way without saying #join my team, okay? Or, pay $99, get started today, without it looking like an ad. So drips can be very, very simple. I will say this, I was so terrified to drip in the beginning because I felt like I was almost bragging, or it didn't feel awkward, especially when my time hop comes up and I look at my drips from the beginning. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that is so terrible and awkward, but somehow I still got here. So the only way you're going to get better at something is just to do it. So
that's ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice.
Yeah. So sometimes it's very, very subtle because they're watching my life. So this is Jack and Nicholas. These are my babies. Okay. Yes, they are related. I know they don't look like they are, but they are related. And it just says, so it's not just my boss taking over my computer to watch his nursery rhymes. The littlest boss enjoys this also. But if you've been watching me, I'm telling a story of how these are my bosses or my office assistants. That's a more subtle one, where a more in your face one is, okay, sitting outside on this chilly 57 degrees, South Florida morning, still in my pajamas and checking yesterday's emails. I love that I can do this job from anywhere. Love being able to help my team and others generate income from home or from their phone. And I have that little thing of, you know, the loyal customer that you signed type thing. So these types of posts I try to do twice a day. And those are called drips, because those combined with me reaching out to ask people about this business are what ultimately drives more distributors into our business. Because let me tell you something, they're not, when you reach out, I'm going to tell you right now, most of them are going to tell you no, or they're not even going to respond. I'm just telling you right now, that's the matter. In fact, I would even say that my goal in reaching out is just to plant a seed, because they're going to start thinking about it a whole heck of a lot more now than they did before. Before they were just kind of watching my drips, but now I've kind of put the ball in their court. And as they see those drips, they're going to start thinking about it more. So that's the first thing I find is that people are, if they're using social media, they're not dripping enough, and then that they're not asking. That they're asking more about product testing. They're talking more about products. I mean, you guys probably see it in your own business, right? What product do you post about the most? That's probably the thing you sell the most of, right? Mm-hmm. You personally, it's the same thing in this business. And a lot of us use social media. Are you dripping? Are you talking about the business every day? Because this sounds crazy. Some people don't know that they can do this with you. Sound nuts, right? They don't even know that it's an option. So you have to make that an option. So for me, it's dripping and actually reaching out to people about it. Those two, I've seen people start signing way more distributors on my team than before, personally.
That's really, I think that is really key, is being able to say that. So then it's almost like you're setting them up. I heard this, somebody told me this, and I loved it. It always stuck with me. But if you were to drive by the same place every day to go to work, you'd see the same billboards, and see the same things. So like reaching out to you, right? Like advertisements. That's what we're doing through Facebook. And so people are going to see those. They're going to drive by it every day, and they'll flip through it, and they're like, oh, that's cool. And then when they get a personal like mailing thing from that same advertisement, and they're like, oh my gosh, they sent me a magnet like in the mail. I always see their stuff. It's like, that's like the personal message. That's like a step further. So when you put the message to it, then all of a sudden they're like, oh, they think I can do this. Like, I didn't know I could do this. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so then you're like, oh, so it's almost like they've got to work together. So yes, posting the drips. I love how you say drip, because that's what it is very much. And
it's not like a, hey, and yes. And here's another thing about this. I'm pretty sure, just from knowing Rachel, I have not received any messages from this team, but I have been receiving messages on my Instagram. And if you see my Instagram, like it's not like very much in your face. It's not like a sea of lime green and black. It's still very much my life. But if you read or see anything in there, obviously you see like what I do. Like I'm wearing the gear and everything like that. But I've been getting messages from people who are not following me, telling me that I would be great on their team, which I'm sure I would be. But how the heck are they supposed to know that? Because I'm on private. So just make sure you do this. It's also another combination of cultivating a relationship with someone. And people say, well, how long is that for you? Well, it's kind of like in life. Some people I hit it off with, and a week later I can say, hey, I think you'd be great at this. And some people it just kind of takes longer. I don't have a hard and fast rule. It's just kind of a feeling in my gut. But make sure that you're mutually engaging with people, that they're liking things. And here's another thing I want to say about drips. People think that I can drip so much easier because whatever, I bought my house because of it works or blah, 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 blah. But going back, my record month for signing distributors is still before I earned any bonus, before I quit my job, and while I was still calling this my side gig. This is not relatable. Okay, having my husband home, buying our house, it's not relatable. So, just to give you an example of that, like I still drip about like the manicure that I was able to get because of my weekly bonus. You know what I mean? Even though I'm like sitting in a brand new car bought by this business, I'm still talking about how my weekly bonus paid for my manicure. Or here's another thing. It's not even about money, because some people say, well, Genevieve, I'm not making any money yet. Well, how about flexibility? Like I had a part-time job that I had to make extra money. I did it to make extra money, but if I didn't actually go teach that training session, if I didn't actually go teach that class, I didn't get paid. So how about the flexibility of being able to do this from wherever, being able to do it with your family? That's very attractive to people. Most of us, I don't know very many people that get into this and like, I'm going to be ambassador. For me, it was like, I just want to make $500. I would say that's most ambassadors. It's when you get in this and you kind of catch that vision. So don't feel like you don't have anything to drip about, because that's just not true at all. I think if somebody would have dripped about ambassador, it would have terrified me.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that got me running in this business was not Amanda Pruitt, who was a presidential. Like, yeah, I was super inspired, but it was Michelle Payne, who was a diamond. You know what I mean? And so just don't forget that. Like, if you have to make a list of all the things you're thankful for this business, and even the small things that it did, that it bought your Starbucks coffee, that you could reload your Starbucks card. Those are the things that it bought diapers. Those are the things that people connect with. That's a drip. The friendship
gas tank. It bought my groceries.
Yes, bought groceries, that you made friendships from it. Those are drips twice a day. So fun, friendship, freedom. What does that look like? And drip twice a day about that, and then ask. Because when you combine that together, I guarantee you your DT enrollments are going to go up. Promise. I've seen it on my team.
I love that. That was so good. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us. I feel like we all learned a lot. I definitely want to see our enrollments up. I want to see more drips. I love that wording that you used. It
sounds gross. It sounds gross, but it makes sense. You're dripping.
No, it's like just little bit by little bit, people are seeing something. And then when you reach out to them, they're like, oh, they're thinking of me. I can do this. Like, I didn't know I could do this. And then they're like, oh, they covered their groceries with this stuff or whatever. So
they're watching a lot more after you ask them and they see those drips. Because people tell me, they're like, I told you no, but I kept thinking about it, especially every time I saw your post.
Yes. Yeah. And if you don't ask, like, just remember somebody else will, and they will join someone. Mm-hmm. So why not you? Why shouldn't your friends join you? Because they are looking for something. And I think that they need this, and they need this opportunity to be able to change their life, to be able to dream again, to be able to get out of debt, to be able to have fun. I mean, like, we don't have fun enough, as adults. So this is such an incredible combo. I love our business. I love our company and what it stands for. So Genevieve, thank you so much for coming on tonight and blessing us with your wisdom. You're so generous with it. And I know that everyone's going to walk away from here just flying high.
Oh, you guys are so awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yes, we're so glad. So